Welcome to the Milo Sweet Podcast, where you learn to achieve more with less by being resourceful. And watch me occasionally get off topic. Let's get into the show.
Marriages need to have a contract. No, not vows. Like a literal contract. It should get renewed like every year, maybe every 6 months, like a short-term rental contract. And it's like after 6 months it expires and you're on your month to month, because at any moment it just might be over. No, that sounds harsh, but I really do think if marriages outside of vows had a contract, and it could have your vows in there, sure, it would be helpful. So let's go over the contract. So you're married for year one, and you take your spouse to a weekend getaway. You know, their favorite place. It has everything they like, visually appealing. You know, whatever their favorite food is and beverage. You start off the weekend, and then you're like, yeah, so it's about time. Oh yeah. Oh, is it about time? Tell me more. Yeah, you pull out that contract review. It's time to review this contract. So let me explain. Lack of haircuts. I mean, you're going every 7 months. It's a little too. I need a little more frequency, so I'm gonna dock you 1 point. You know, that commission you were supposed to get after being exceptional or meeting my satisfaction. Not really satisfied in that area, so that's not gonna happen. So the result was going to be us working toward having a baby after a year. Not really. Some of the habits you have, not really gonna move forward with you on making that baby. Yeah, let's talk about clothes. So, I mean, when we were dating, you always looked nice. Now that I'm seeing you every day, I am seeing stains in places I shouldn't see them, and odor. Like, I didn't realize you only bathe when we went on a date. Can you imagine the contract review? Like, and you have a performance review like every year. Like, how stressful would that be? But I think why I think this is helpful is I think these are the stresses we feel in marriage anyway. There are stresses in marriage. There is performance. Of course, there's love and butterflies and all those good things, but the reality is there's pressure, there's assumptions, there's guesses, estimations, there's consequences, there's unspoken things that you need to be considered a good spouse, or for your spouse to feel loved. And we can totally overlook those things in our day-to-day. We could say, yeah, I'm doing great. But when they review you, maybe you're not doing so great. Maybe things that they loved a year ago, they don't love as much, right? Maybe the frequency at which you used to do things the first 3 months has changed. Maybe it's too much. Maybe you're too needy. Like, in dating and hanging out, it's great, but maybe you are just a little too clingy. You have to do everything together. Or maybe, you were super positive when they went on dates, and being around you all the time, you're negative. Maybe you should keep yourself up more, and you don't. You keep yourself up less, and all they see is the other side of you. Like, not the side that you use to market, Let's talk about marketing and branding. Is that in the contract? How do you market yourself? How do you brand yourself? What words are associated with your daily behavior? I know this seems so callous, but I definitely think couples are experiencing this, whether they realize it or not. And perhaps a contract review, and maybe a more romantic term, just like, a love review, a romance recapture, Stella getting her groove back, guide, maybe it's a little bit more attractive for people to want to do it. But I really do think that it should be reviewed, because I think what happens is life happens so slowly, life happens just a little bit each day. So you can just become a little bit off and not realize that you're off course. Like maybe you really think you are loving your spouse. Maybe your spouse really thinks that, or they think, I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into 5 years later. And it's 5 years you've deprived this person of something they really like. And you have no idea how far off, or you wonder, why they don't do this with me? Why they don't do that? And it's truly because you don't do the one thing that made them want to do all those other things. So how do you guys feel about that? I'm already writing minds up in my head. I'm like, I'm thinking it would be cool to do. I really do think it would be cool. I think the other parts of this is couples have a hard time hearing the truth. Like, why is this so uncomfortable? If we are telling the truth to each other every day, all the time, in a loving, caring way, being honest about things before they get out of hand, like before is crazy, right? Like when it's a little bitty baby seed, you talk about it before it's a full grown tree that's like bigger and stronger than you, and you're trying to uproot it. You need an arborist. I mean, you need so many different things to get this tree out. So if marriages are telling each other every day, or couples are telling each other every day how they really feel, a contract would just be like, oh yeah, that's just a reiteration about how you feel. I know what you like. I know that you've changed what you like. I see what you think about what I'm doing. You're really encouraging in this area. You see that I'm trying to change over here. The truth is, I don't really think people are just keeping it real about how they feel and what's going on. And so that's why it feels so like, ugh, I have to say this. Like, why should that be unnatural to tell someone that you love and that you're spending the rest of your life with what you really think and how you feel? Of course, with thought and, kindness, you can still be direct and be kind, but it should feel like the most natural thing. And it should feel comforting to hear the truth. So first it's saying the truth. How comfortable are you saying the truth about something? And then how comfortable are you hearing it? Getting that feedback that, yeah, I would prefer you to have a couple more pedicures, because when you rub those dinosaur feet on me, I get bruises. It feels like an exfoliant. Like, that's not what I'm going for. I just exfoliate it. Why would you do that? Or I love when you kiss me after you brush your teeth. Like after, what's wrong with after? That's why it's made. We live in a civilized world. If you have that stank breath, kiss and y'all love each other, that's fine. It's nothing wrong with that. That's between the two of you. But some people don't like that. Some people don't like that you're farting. Some people do. Some people think, you know what? Is that all you got? Toot again. So it's not for me to determine. I don't live with you. But yeah, what would you tell your spouse? What haven't you told them? What are you willing to learn about yourself? And I think if we're really willing to grow and develop, it should feel good. Now, the idea is everything you're not going to change, obviously, but I think to nail it down to like what's most important, right? You're going to hear feedback. Some feedback I'm thinking, wow, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate hearing. And some things it's like, oh, wow, I had no idea. Let me put a plan together about, making things better. So what do you think about the marriage contract? What would you put in there? What do you need to talk to your spouse about? What things are you not ready to hear, but possibly need to hear to change, to grow, and to be better? And would you do a yearly review? Like, I don't know what the consequences of the contract would be. I haven't thought that far. But if you have an idea, I would love to hear from you. That is all.
All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Like, seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening to. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, like for real. No, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.